All right, what's up, everyone? Daddy Warbucks here, and today we are starting a new series. We are going to be playing Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden, and Karis is our DM through this new series. So I'm going to hand it over to her, and she can set us up for today. Go ahead, Karis.
Okay. Icewind Dale has become trapped in a perpetual winter. Ferocious blizzards make the mountain pass through the spine of the world exceedingly treacherous, and this land has not felt the warmth of the sun in over 2 years. In fact, the sun no longer appears above the mountains, not even in what should be the height of summer. In this frozen tundra, darkness and bitter cold reign as king and queen. Most Dale residents blame Earl the Frostmaiden, the god of winter's wrath. The shimmering aurora that weaves across the sky each night is said to be her doing, a potent spell that keeps the sun at bay. Sorry, I just noticed chat. Dark
Yeah.
Mage? The Dale folk live in a scattering of settlements known as 10 towns. And I'm going to move over to the Icewind Dale map. The drop-off in caravans coming from the south and travel between settlements in this never-ending winter has left everyone feeling isolated. Although each town has resolved to appease the Frostmaiden with sacrifices of one kind or another, no respite from winter's fury seems forthcoming. For adventurers such as these fine heroes, 10 Towns Winter Fury, no, that's the wrong line. 10 Towns is a place to test one's mettle and, in the spirit of heroes who have come before, leave one's mark on this frigid, blighted land. So, looking at the desolate area and taking a quick look over at stream to see if I can tell how much of the map is visible. Not a lot of the map is visible. Okay. But
The
for the
10 towns are
players,
visible. Did good.
the 10 Towns is visible. 10 Towns did not spring up overnight. It started from humble beginnings 4 centuries ago. Immigrants from all over Faerun came here in search of escape or adventure and built modest trade posts atop the hill where Bryn Shander is now. Oh, and I have the ability to center that, don't I? There, that makes that easier.
Beautiful.
Alrighty. We're still figuring out how the tech is going to work here. Let's see. One by one, settlements sprung up on the shores of the very deep Meridolden.
Hey, Spartan, thank you for the sub, man.
On
Appreciate you.
choppy Lake Dinazir, which is under the dice. Or even the very shallow red waters down here. Over the Lake Dinashir on the edge here, that is assailed by winds blowing off the Reged Glacier over to the east. We're going to start our adventurer's story in Bryn Shander, and I'm moving to the Mood Bryn Shander map. In the marketplace, the market square here, this is a walled town perched atop a cold, lonely, wind-lashed hill. Bright lanterns suspended over narrow streets twist in the wind and add flecks of color to the town's otherwise drab surroundings. The friendliness in this settlement has dwindled of late. The unyielding winter has greatly reduced the number of visitors, and local trade is suffering, eating away at the locals' sense of humor and goodwill. We can all kind of relate. Speaking of visitors, a large caravan has arrived in the market square about an hour ago. Wagons for local establishments are separating off and pulling down the various side roads. Others are unloading cargo for shop stalls, checking the overhangs and all to make sure that it is at least somewhat protected from the snow. Hopefully they're prepared not only for the snowy weather, but the grumpy passers-by. There are a few gawkers idling around the edges, watching the activity. And this time there are a few sites of interest with the caravan. If you look over there, a person of definite interest alights from a wagon. I need to be on the right layer. Let's help that. Cairo, would you please, Williamson, would you please introduce your character? And let us know what he's doing in the far north.
Okay, Cairo is a Leonin paladin. He has been sent to the far north by the shamans of his tribe, who believe that he is born destined to defeat the creature bringing about the never-ending winter in these lands.
A very worthy goal. And it's an unprepossessing sight looking around you. And it is bleak. And some of the other folks around here aren't quite as notable. However, there is another notable soul, a nice bright soul who traveled with Cairo as you came through. Junior, would you introduce your character, please?
I'm playing Pip, the satyr bard, and he he looks like a child in a candy shop. I mean, very smiley, very, you know, very different from the faces around here. Just looking for a new scene of view.
A veritable bright spark. And as you kind of look over the edge, there's someone paying a lot of attention in kind of a maybe shady or suspicious sort of way. Giz, what do they see when they look at you? Or, well, when they're not looking at you, what are they seeing you do?
Basically, I'm sitting off in a shadowy area, watching the caravan, watching them unload, looking at items that don't belong there because they would look so much better in my bag. And so the halfling's just kind of chilling off in the shadows, looking for something interesting to do.
And the very perceptive are seeing that speculative gleam in your eye, I am sure. So these are in and amongst the noise and bustle around this caravan that is unloading. And in the bustle of the marketplace here, which this is about as busy as it gets, and it's midday, you can actually see a little bit. This is as bright as the day ever gets. And over off on the side there is a dwarf standing up on a box, imploring at the people around her and trying to gain the attention. For the love of decency here, everyone, someone has got to want to help with this. You know that the murders have been happening. The most recent one was just right here in Bryn Shander. I mean, you can't just leave it to me. I'm old, I'm frail. Please, someone has got to step up and take this on and help us deal with the murders that have been going on. And she looks sort of around pleadingly at the people around. Anyone? Is there anyone who can help? You there, you look strong, you look capable. Surely you would want to do something to help out the people. And she points to a Goliath just innocently walking through, not paying attention.
So even though Azatoth is a Goliath, he is bundled in a great number of furs. And he kind of looks around, instantly kind of shirking away from the attention thrust upon him. But then he points to the dwarf. Me? You would have I handled this for you? Of course I could. I am strongest. I could do this for you. Alone. Just don't tell me where.
And she looks a little puzzled and says, alone? But there's a party of you standing here. And as you look side to side, you notice that the crowds have kind of faded back. And there are 6 of you standing in the marketplace. And she's clearly gesturing as though all of you are together. And one of them kind of off on the side with a distracted air kind of looks up going, what? Spartan, would you please introduce your character?
Sure. So Tally's is he's just finished closing a deal and buying some more paper for making notes and whatnot, but also lamenting at the fact that his coin purse isn't quite large enough for him to buy the books that he needs to be able to put them into a proper format. He was kind of scratching his head for a moment, mulling over ideas as to how to make some quick coin to be able to do it, but here in the frozen north, opportunities are slim.
And not too far away, also at a market stall, who was kind of caught off guard a little bit at being classified as part of this group. Dark Mage.
Yes. So, being caught off guard, starts looking for exit strategies to see if he can get away from what's happening, and looking for the closest end to dive into. Pretty much almost in some charcoal gray and white furs to kind of help him blend in with the surroundings, and being noticed makes him uneasy.
And as everyone else has kind of cleared through the marketplace, and it has gotten surprisingly quiet for what was such a bustling marketplace so recently. And the dwarf climbs down and picks up her box, and she says, "Oh, wonderful, here. Come with me. We can go into the tavern just down here, and we can discuss the details, and I'll tell you all about it. I'm so grateful that all of you, I mean, you look so strong and capable. I'm so grateful that a group of people have finally stepped up to help me with this." And she's looking expectantly at all 6 of you as she heads sort of towards the north, and we can briefly go to the Bryn Shander map. Get ourselves a little bit oriented here. So the market square is nice in the center, and she heads up the main track to the north over to the Northlook, which is not just a tavern, it is also an inn. And she's clearly well known as she gets up there. Now I have to be on the correct. There we go. And she's clearly very well known there as she settles in, and she's aching her old bones as she is settling in and gesturing for you all to do. And she waves a hand up and ordering some ale. She says, "Oh, I suppose I should tell you my name. Of course I should. My name is Hlyn Trollbane. I'm retired now, but I have been around for some time, and I'm so thankful that these murders have been troubling me. And I know it's not necessarily my business. I'm not in any position of authority here, but it strikes me to the heart of people being murdered. We can be a better society than that. I just know we can. And so I've done what I can to look into it, and you're all going to, I assume you all came with her?"
Cairo sort of just grumbled and followed along, but out of obligation. And as he sits in front of her, he kind of shivers under his large cloak lined with muskox fur and says, "You say a better society. I will never comprehend why anyone would choose to establish a society here, even if this land were not plunged into an eternal winter."
I am here because you have issued me a challenge. Tell me more information about these murders so that I can fix them for you.
What has been notable about the murders, we've had 3 of them over the past month. There was one, it was back about, I don't remember exactly how long ago it was. Okay, and now I'm learning where, here we go. That was in East Haven. That was the first one. That was a trapper off in there. And then there was the dwarven glass blower here in Bryn Shander. That was 3 days ago. And I'm missing something. There was a third one. Oh, of course, the shipbuilder in Targos. But, and these normally seem unconnected, except that each of the victims was found with a dagger of ice through their heart. And that's an unusual enough thing to sort of tie these things together. I've been trying to investigate myself. I don't get around that well, but I have been trying to investigate, and I think there is a traveling
Nami,
merchant,
thank you for the
Torgs,
resub. Been a great
run
2 months.
by
Thank you very
well,
much.
another dwarf.
Looking
I'm
forward to our
ashamed to say, but I
next
know
game.
not all dwarves are like me. There's a diversity, of course. Oh, but anyways, that's Torga Icewind, and she has her traveling company. One of the workers she has working for her, I think, I suspect him. His name is Sefik, and the reason why I suspect him is he's out there just in normal clothes all of the time. He never wears the furs. He never wears the outdoor gear. I think he's Torga's bodyguard. I did try to follow them for a while, and I did, and you know, he's always right by her side during the day, but when she shuts up for the day, he wanders off. And I just there might be a link to the Frostmaiden here, because the 3 towns involved so far are the ones where the sacrifices are humanoids. So I'm thinking maybe these are people who have attempted to bribe their way out of the lottery, and several of you are looking at me blankly, like you don't know what I'm talking about.
Sacrifices, you say?
The sacrifices, yes. Well, the Everwinter that's here, about, oh gosh, a year after it started or so, each of the 10 towns came up with this idea. How a civilized society could ever come up with such a horrible idea, I don't know, to try to sacrifice to Arrol the Frostmaiden in hopes of appeasing her into letting up on the winter. But it's been like a year, and you know, so we've had what, 12 sacrifices from each town, and I don't see the winter letting up. Do you see the winter letting up? I don't see it letting up. They don't all sacrifice people because not some of the towns aren't that large and wealthy, but the 3, East Haven, Torgos, and here in Bryn Shander, at the night of the new moon, will sacrifice a person, and it's supposedly done by lottery. But our local authorities aren't as thorough as they might be. But I followed Torgs for a while, and I don't know. I came back here a few days ago because it's just I'm tired. My bones are aching. I last saw them over at East Haven when I left, but that was a few days ago. I will pay. I can pay. I have money from my adventuring career. I can pay you 100 gold pieces if you will go. If you will apprehend the Sefik and determine whether he's guilty or not and deal with him. Please don't involve the authorities. I'm sorry to say I don't really trust them, but you know, if you return to me here, I can pay you.
Ezotos stands up and grips his weapon. Then we shall go. Immediately. This Kavaki will pay for what he has done.
Yes, and since you've brought light on my appearance here in town, it is best I leave as quickly as possible. Any leads as to where we should look first specifically? Is there a specific town, or is it here in Bryn Shander?
Well, I left them at East Haven, but that was 5 days ago, to come back here because I was just aching too much. I couldn't stick with it. And what could I do to confront him by myself? I'm a pushover these days. It might not look like it now, but I was really strong in my own day. So they travel every few days. I would be very surprised if they're still at East Haven, but that's a good place to start, and it's just right down the east way as well. Although it looks as though some of you aren't even fully equipped. You're wearing plenty of layers, but do you have what you need in terms of gear for being out? The east way is a pretty good road. You can probably make your way along it.
I've spent some time traveling around the locales. I have most of what I need. Could probably do with some extra rations for the road.
I can definitely provide some of that. Is there anything else you will need to start out with?
So Landar looking around, checking the 3 newcomers to town, and notice that they may not have snowshoes or things to walk with this snow-infested area. And looking at them and mentioning that they probably should get accommodations for their feet.
And beyond that, maybe some furs to wrap around your body. You'll freeze to death out here in Icewind Dale.
And those who arrived on the caravans know that most of the trip from Luskin was cold and hard and dark. Most of the way once you got up to the spine of the world, yes.
Well, I'll just need to stop back at my in room to pick up the my equipment, but I have some cold weather clothing and snowshoes and the like.
Black Iron Blades is a pretty good place to also get equipment, and I have an account there. Let me give you this token, and she pulls out of a bag a sheet and scrawls something on to give to you. That put what you need onto it, and they'll put that on my account.
Grab
And
it.
she doesn't notice the avaricious look that appears on at least one face.
Pip will try to take it, but then get beaten to it by the Goliath.
Yeah, I just swallow it in my massive hand and turn and look at you. And then I shove it in my pocket.
Cairo stands up and says, "Any lead towards this Frostmaiden is payment enough for me. But let us not waste any time. Let us gather our provisions and go quickly."
I like what the kitten has to say. It is similar to something that we said on our home mountain. It is a wise proverb that goes, Alaika kukanath mali kothek, naule kukanath mali anumaka. It is, the fast goat provides the drink, the slow goat the food. So let us hurry and move to equip.
Although it's a good, some of you would know this, it's a good 7 to 8 hours by foot from Bryn Shander to East Haven, and it is now afternoon. You might want to wait until tomorrow unless you want to travel well into the night.
Where was the where she said we could pick up supplies from?
It was
her
here in
account?
town.
Yeah, it's the Black Iron Blades, which is on the. Did I actually move you guys to the map? Yes, I did.
Yep.
Good. It's like I remembered to say which map we were going to, so it's actually up here, right along the. You passed it on your way to the thing. I remembered to say it for Warbucks, but I didn't remember if I actually moved the rest of you.
Well, we could head to the Black Iron Blades first, and then, rest for the night and make our way to East Haven tomorrow.
Yes, and Landar looking at Len, could you acquire us some rooms while we prepare for the travel?
Certainly, I can do that. I can talk with the innkeep here. Which I know the innkeep's name. I know the innkeep's name.
So, at this point, I would just turn around and leave. Because I don't know y'all. I don't care. I'm just going to go to the place.
And Cryo will follow him.
Tallies will go as well. He needs to get some rations, and then we can try and arrange. I assume that we're going to leave at what would pass for dawn.
Pip will also quickly
Yeah, there's
follow.
there's 4 hours of daylight, sort of dim. Okay, so Black Iron Blades, as you come up, it's well labeled, fairly brightly lit. As you go in, it's a combination of shop and smithy. It's a fairly bustling place. It's got, you can see there are some weapons here. There's cold weather gear, there's rations. It's like your typical REI sort of thing, is to, the place where you can get all of your travel and survival gear.
So I will move and start picking out cold weather gear, snowshoes, crampets, everything that would be needed for travel through the tundra.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And you are well aware of what you would need.
yes, because I am. This is my home.
Mm-hmm.
Tallies will take a couple of water skins and some rations. He thinks he has most of other stuff that, I don't know, I guess maybe some sleeping gear as well.
And when you're there
bedroll.
looking at the water sacks, a dwarf comes up and is saying, and you'll want to be very careful to keep that as close to your body as you can. It's pretty well insulated, but if you just leave it sitting away from you, it's going to freeze up and you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get the liquid out of it.
Yes, indeed. I'll keep it inside my jacket.
Pip's gonna go up and tap Tallies on the shoulder. Do you think you could help me picking out what we need? I'm not too familiar on what's available.
Of course. What do you have currently?
Um,
I'll kind of gesture to sort of look through your equipment and see what you've got, and then try and figure out what kind of things that we'd need.
Nothing that should be needed. I have no rations, no cold weather gear.
So you are wearing warm clothing though.
So hearing this, as he's just gonna reach up and grab like some heavy furs, cold weather clothing, and I'm just gonna kind of toss them over Pip. You can start with that. If you do not cover your skin, the cold will numb it, and it will decay. It will burn, even though you touch nothing but ice and snow. And then your fingers will fall off. I have seen it.
And the dwarf that had been talking about the water skins, she nods very sagely. I've seen it too. You get frozen corpses out there in the tundra all the time. Folks who've gone astray and haven't paid attention. I don't suppose you need any sort of weapons or anything. My brother Garn back there does the manufacturing himself. He's the smith himself for it.
I will answer your question with another question. A benefactor gave us this, and I will hand, was it a token? Over.
It was a sheet of paper that has her signature on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How? I do not know what our host hospitality will accommodate us, but this is to cover myself and these, and I kind of offhandedly gesture to the rest of the group.
And she looks, oh, Lynn, yes, Lynn. Oh, and she gets big eyes. You're the one she's talked into taking that daft trek of hers that she wants. She's got you off looking for the murderer, doesn't she?
Yes, she does.
I will
Why do you call
apprehend
it
this
daft?
murderer, yes.
I mean, to think that the one person would be out there in all these different towns doing all this different stuff. I mean, imagine people don't just do that. There isn't that. I mean, yes, of course, there's travel between, and yes, I suppose the ice stake in the heart is a bit of a unusual feature, but it could have been a copycat. I mean, how are you even going to know if the person's guilty or not? And she continues on in this vein for a while.
She does not know of his guilt? I was under the impression that I was going to find this man and pummel him in combat.
Well, she thinks she knows about it, but I heard that it was actually a. And she starts with a hard G. Oh no, I'm sure I didn't hear that. She's looking, noticing the person standing in front of her. Oh no, I didn't hear that at all. No, I'm sure she's right. I'm sure she's right.
What were you saying, woman?
Well, I was gonna say, the Goliaths tend to get around, but actually the dwarves get around too. It could have easily been a dwarf doing it. I didn't mean anything, sir. No, I didn't mean anything by it.
If it was the Goliath that had killed these people, then you would know. We do not operate in subterfuge. We kill our quarry in the open.
This
well,
is true.
that's
They're
true.
quite violent.
I'm gonna look
that's
at you.
true. That is pretty compelling. You're right. I shouldn't speak of what I really don't know. You're right. It's highly unlikely that it would be a Goliath. You're right. And I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cast aspersions on your people, sir. Of course I didn't.
No, that would be very accurate for Goliaths. And Landar just turns away. And
Maybe
do you have any
sir.
manacles here?
Maybe you should attend to your own spear. It seems to be crooked.
Yes, I take your point. But you were asking the question about this. I'm sure Lynn would go for any sort of survival gear. Weaponry is probably stretching it. I mean, although she's certainly wealthy enough to afford it. And she probably didn't, I'll be honest, she probably didn't quite intend that much. But perhaps you have funds of your own and you can look at his very fine, I mean, one of the swords that he just finished it's one of his better pieces, I'm sure.
Well, for me, it'll just be these 3 things for now.
Okay, very good. I can help you with that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. For me, it'll be sort of a bedroll, water skins, rations. Going through Pip's belongings, make sure that he has cold weather clothing, snowshoes, crampons, some sort of light source, a hooded lantern maybe.
Ooh, I have that one.
Oh, you have that? Okay, never
Yes.
mind then.
He has something useful that's bright spark among us.
And again, water skin and rations.
How many water skins and rations should we need?
Depends on how easily we can find, fresh water. It's often a good idea to have 2 water skins just to make sure if you have to go an extra day without water, you can always fill up a spare. Ration wise, standard 10 days would be adequate. I mean, it's less than a day's travel to East Haven, isn't it? So we shouldn't even really need them on the road, but who knows what happens on the trail?
It's best to be prepared. It's best to be prepared in cold weather. You could easily get stuck somewhere, and then where would you be if you didn't have the equipment?
Exactly.
And do you have a set of manacles here at all?
Manacles. I don't right here in the adventuring supplies, but you can go, if you go look over there along the back wall, you can see whatever my brother has smithed and see if you find those over there.
If you require these, I do have a pair already.
He does have some over there.
Well, at least we have a pair that we need, just in case we bring the accuser back alive.
Could also do with for myself and Pip some a spool of rope each.
Okay, and rope is over here with this young woman who. Oh, and I'm Elsa, by the way.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
And she kind of wanders off to help some other folks that are looking, and you can hear her brightly chatting with them.
While we're here, I think I will purchase a tent, and I don't know. I'll just subtract the 2 gold pieces for that. I've already used enough of our patrons' generosity, so I would not want to expend any more. But I will purchase.
I will erase that off my list then.
A tent.
Seeing someone who's more familiar with this place buy a tent, Pip will also buy a tent.
Yeah, Tallies will pick one up as well.
Oh, wait. If we are to travel together, not all of us will need one. They are big enough for 2. And it may be better if some of us were to share accommodations. The warmth of our bodies will help us survive the cold. One of you is welcome to share the tent with me if we are to be comrades after all.
Who's the smallest person in our group?
I would venture a guess to the halfling.
I would suggest that perhaps our halfling friend share with the Goliath, since the added volume that they take up should amount to an average amount of 2 medium-sized people. You should be relatively comfortable.
That is a good idea. I also say the halfling should go with the Goliath. And I'm going to take a step back away
tower from over the halfling and kind of look down at Andwise, scratching my chest idly. You're welcome to share my tent, sir. Will it bother you if I snore? I do have this thing. I have to sleep on my back at nights, or I can't get comfortable. But I know I snore something fierce. I'm sure you'll be fine. It's better than dying in the cold, I'm sure.
At the notion of sharing his tent, Cairo just grumbles and says, "Oh, whoever wants can share mine as well. But whatever you do, do not use my mane as a pillow. I had that problem once the last time I had to share a room."
Yeah,
Dang it,
note to
that's
self,
my
be
plan.
careful when I take a drink.
In that case, I'll share with you, and we can top and tail.
So, are you all the things gathering up at the main table? And seeing this increasing pile, yes, Elsa is quite, yes, very good. And she is totaling it up.
I'm going to make one more slow patrol around the store, see if anything else catches my eye.
All right. Upon hearing the rest of the group pretty much stick me in the tent with the Goliath, I'm going to basically walk around the store, and everything I see the Goliath put on the counter for him, I'm going to go find the children's version that'll fit me and put the same thing up on the counter.
Well, so far that would be cold weather gear, crampons, snowshoes, and a tent. So,
okay, other than the tent.
And Elsa has taken the piece of paper, and she's sort of turned it over, and as she's going through an inventory list, and she's writing all the things on the list that she's going to charge to Lynn's account.
I'm going to buy the tent out of my own money, so 2 gold from there.
Okay. I think I have 1 tent so far coming from the patron, and 2 being bought.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of money.
And so she's telling it up and says, "Okay, there you are. I think that's a very good. You seem to be pretty well stocked and equipped there. Are you going off into the tundra? Where this looks like you're setting up for quite the trip. Oh, but if you're on that, oh no, right, it's not a fool's errand. I'm sure Lynn has made a good choice in selecting you. It is such a good thing for you to do to help her out this way."
I'm just gonna kind of stare at her. She talks too fast, and she says things that hurts my head.
Come again to Black Iron Blades anytime.
I'm going to keep my distance away from the Goliath. It scares me.
Okay.
Standing.
So, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So standing outside, I'm just gonna kind of look around the streets. Is anyone familiar with Bryn Shander? This place is too big, too crowded. I'm not a favorite place of mine. Does anyone know where there might be inn or lodgings that we can accommodate us?
I believe Elsa was arranging accommodation for us.
Then we'll go back to the North Look.
At the North Look. Actually, the North Look's this building over here. Yeah.
Fortunately, that's where my inn was as well, so I can just go there to pick up the rest of my equipment.
And let's see, so you gather back in the tap room. Okay. All right. So yes, Lynn has arranged for your rooms there. She assumed that you were a party, so she arranged for 2 rooms for the party to split up in. Some of you already had your own rooms, and she didn't know that, and so it's so the North Look is pretty comfortable. It's kind of loud and rowdy. This is looking around. This is clearly where all the adventurers are, and there's a job board up, and there's brawling scars in some of the furniture and things like that. And in the tap room area, there's also a very notable feature that, being new here, the barkeep behind there very points out, says, "Oh, and have you seen old Bitey here?" And let's see, I have an old Bitey. There we go. "Have you seen old Bitey here? I caught him. He's big, huge knucklehead. I caught him myself. He pulled many a fisher into the icy depths there, and I'm the one who caught him. And you see this? I've been an expert fisherman in my day." And he kind of looks at you all and humps a little bit that you guys don't look very impressed. "Oh, Bitey there's even taken bites out of boats on the lake."
Cairo only looks at it and sort of licks his lips.
And seeing that, he kind of goes back and sort of protectively grabs, "This is my old Bitey. Keep your claws out of my fish."
You have certainly exceeded me. I have never caught a knucklehead so large. Tell me, what did you use as bait, and what core of wood did you use for your rod?
Ah, you're wanting my secrets here, are you? Well, do I want to keep that secret? Well, I'll tell you, as part of the bait, don't say anything but the cook and the stew, the meat. Oh, nope, you're potential customers. Never mind. It was perfectly good bait. So it was. I had it on my hook, and let me tell you, it took some strength to pull that thing in. He thrashed and he did it, and he almost pulled me overboard, and yet I prevailed, and I managed to wrestle him into the boat all by myself.
So how big is this fish? So I've got not a real sense of scale from the image.
That's true. This doesn't say.
Oh man.
It just says stuffed and mounted on a plaque above the hearth in the common room.
The knucklehead fish, I want to say that they're like carp. So they're it would be pretty big.
Large because
okay.
They're pretty large because the their bones are used to carve scrimshaw out of.
5.
So they've got
it says that knucklehead trout
reach
up to 5 feet long.
Wow.
Yeah. And they've got surprisingly solid bones for fish too. There's a lot of scrimshaw around in this town. So yeah, this is probably a good 5-foot one, and good couple feet fat.
Okay, well, Cairo's just going to head up to his room and get ready for bed.
All right.
Actually,
anything significant this evening? Go ahead.
there is one thing that I want to get. I don't know how much you would say it would cost, and it's something that I'd buy out of my own money. Like a waterproof bag to put inside my backpack to protect all of my papers and books and stuff.
Let's see. She wouldn't have a leather writing case and all, but she would have some waterproof bags, because with all the snow around, that is a pretty important thing. I would think
You do not need a waterproof bag, my friend. My tribe, we had a trick.
Go ahead.
Your backpack, your sack, it is made of leather, yes?
Yes.
All you must do is purchase some lamp oil, and you rub the lamp oil into the leathers of your bag. The leather will soak it on the outside and make it resistant to the water.
That is an excellent tip. Thank you.
And you have plenty of oil
I do.
from your lamp. Yep.
Excuse me, big sir.
Mhm.
How would I do that with this? And he kind of sits out. It's not a bag. It's like a chest that he's been carrying around. How do you put so it won't soak in?
I wouldn't think that would survive up here long. The wood will warp. If I were you, I'd buy a backpack or maybe a sack to put things in.
Plus, putting oil on a wooden chest like that would only increase it to inflame faster.
You guys go to your room. I'll be back.
You're gonna run back to the store. I need a backpack.
Yep.
Wait, don't you already have a backpack?
I have a chest.
Brilliant.
So yes, I would like to make a mad dash back to the store. Hopefully they're still open.
Yes, there. It hasn't been very long. And you get a big smile from the dwarf who'd been helping you out. Oh, back already. What can I do for you?
Yes, I need a backpack.
Oh, I've got several varieties over here. You just come right over here and come take a look at this. And so let's see. Do you actually want one all set up? We've got some here that actually contain all the basic gear in them. We have some that don't have anything in them. We have what kinds of things are you looking for here?
How much was one with all the stuff in it?
With all the stuff? Well, which all the stuff? Are you climbing down into ravines and doing spelunking? Are you just going out into the wilderness? Do you need to do something, to make sure you got all your papers and stuff? Do you have what kind? I mean, we've got all these different packs here. Which kind would you like?
It is overwhelmed. The wilderness one.
This is the finest. We're the finest equipper here in the area. Well, I can tell you. So this one here that's got the backpack and the bedroll, and it has the mess kit that has with the dishes and stuff. So when you cook your food, you can put it in it, and it's got the tinderbox, of course, and it comes with torches. You'll want to protect your torches, of course, because that wind will just blow them right out. And it comes with the rations. Although I can give you a deal on that because you just bought a bunch of rations here. And it also has the water, and you just bought a water skin too. So I would give this to you for, let's say, 8 gold pieces.
Okay. So I don't have 8 gold pieces, but I have 5 and a chest. Could I interest you in a chest?
A chest?
Yeah, and
And she started. You're carrying it with you?
yes, it has like straps on it. It's basically acting as his backpack. It's just a very small, personal
Oh.
sized chest, able to fit gear in it.
So, like a
Oh, well,
purse?
that's actually very interesting. I haven't had anything like that around.
Well,
You
how about
know,
I'll
I would sell you this for 2 gold pieces to give some extra value for that, because that's quite an oddity, and I could get a fair amount for that.
deal.
Splendid. Now you'll just come right back anytime. You know, we love having you here. You're just doing so great here. Let me get, and she digs through it and she pulls out one of the packs. It's actually, it looks a little more sturdily constructed than some of the other ones. And she's gathering up this stuff. And I said, oh no, I already gave you ration. You already had rations in the water section. Don't need that. And she mutters along and she does it and she starts to, oh, you're going to want to unload that before I take it from you.
So I take all my gear out, and what kind of pack is this?
It's the Explorer's pack. And she's looking through it and she's like, oh, isn't this kind of, you've got kind of a little notch in there for holding stuff as strapping. Oh, isn't that quite interesting? You know, and she's all caught up in checking out this box. And the strap said, oh, I think I could do a little mending on that to strengthen those up a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly load my stuff up in my new backpack. Okay, thank you. Have a good night. And then I'm gonna try to run back to the tavern.
Hey, anytime. All right. Okay. You are set up with a pack that can be easily oiled and made waterproof. And anything else tonight?
Wait, I need oil.
Run back.
Did Taylor get you with, he got you with a lantern, didn't he?
Well,
Why,
you
hello,
would
No,
have-
I had my
Captain.
own.
Thank you for the resub,
You
buddy.
should-
How
You
should
had
have
a
it.
lantern, so he didn't. Do you have flasks of oil with your
Yeah, you should have 2 flasks of oil. I think most kits that come
Yeah, I
with
do.
one.
I do. Okay, I'm good.
Anytime, though. Just come by anytime. We're here to serve.
I'm gonna make my
She's
way.
practically getting
to the tavern.
dollar signs in her eyeballs here. This is
Guys, look, I got a back.
That that's good. That's real good. I kind of reach out and just pat him on the shoulder. What's the
okay.
matter?
Anything else?
You look stunned.
Anything else tonight?
Nope, I'm gonna waterproof my my backpack, and that's about it. Keep all my papers and stuff inside.
All right. So the next morning, as you head down into the common room for a good breakfast, the food here is the breakfast food here is a little bit plain, but it is very hearty. You've got plenty of nice grains that have got plenty of lard and fats and things in them. It's, you know, nice and savory, good bulk. That's one of the things. Food's fairly generous here in the 10 towns because it's kind of a necessary survival thing. So you've got a nice, wonderful breakfast, and Lynn is there, and all. It's did you all get all equipped up? I see you're carrying you. I don't know if you're carrying your bags or not.
Yeah,
All equipped and ready to head out.
Tallies will have everything with him ready to go.
Yep, we have all of our cold weather gear, our snowshoes, our crampons. We got quite a few other odds and ends, but we're set to head out.
Pip's got a
Good,
huge
good.
smile on his face with a brand new backpack, and he's ready for adventure.
Oh yeah, that's lovely, dear. Yes, good, good. Okay. Well, so have a safe journey. My bones aren't aching too badly. You should have good weather today along the east way. Okay, anything else before you head out of town? Myself back to the map.
Nope.
I think
Okay.
that's good for me.
All right. So you head out the eastern gate. I'm moving you to the Icewind Dale map. And following along the way, along the eastway, for those who came up the caravan route, the eastway looks better maintained than even the caravan route. This is sort of the main drag here in 10 Towns. And you haven't come very far out of Bryn Shander, maybe an hour's walk, and you start, you see coming ahead some people sort of trudging towards you. Yeah. Find my link. There it is. Okay. You see some people sort of trudging towards you. They don't look that well equipped for walking. They're dwarves, they're short, but they're all bundled up. You can't hardly see them. They're sort of carrying things that look like they weren't really, not nice backpacks that make things convenient. They're kind of lugging stuff along. And as they see the group of you coming, they look at you and say, "Ho there, ho there! Capable folk and all. I don't suppose you could maybe do something for us if we offer to pay you?"
Oh, what is it now?
Oh, they come up and they kind of a little breath and all, and one of them sort of pulls it out. Two of them have quite bushy beards, and the one that doesn't kind of pulls it down, and it's clearly a dwarven woman. "Oh, well, we're on our way to Bryn Shander. We were supposed to be driving a sled of iron ingots, and we got attacked by a yeti, and one of us was killed and all that. And I don't suppose we could do with someone to go back and get the sled for us. We have been trudging and walking and all night, and it's exhausting. I'm sure we can do it. I don't suppose you could go looking and retrieve our sled for us."
How far back did you leave it?
"Oh, well, we rejoined the Eastway just a little bit there. It was kind of up that way," and they point kind of cross country, north, maybe a little eastish, towards the mountain in the distance that is labeled on the map as Kelvin's Cairn. And those of you from the area would know that was Kelvin's Cairn. "We were heading from the Dwarven Valley up there down to here, and it's, oh lordy, I don't know how long have we been walking." And it's like, and they shrug, "I don't know, all night. We've been walking all night. I think we were attacked, I don't know, early evening yesterday."
Well, it would be a ways out of our path as we're on our way to East Haven now.
And you're almost there at any rate. By the time we retrieve it, you could very well have arrived in Bryn Shander.
That's true. Maybe we'll find someone in Bryn Shander to take care of it. Okay. How close are we? We're not that far, are we? How far are we? How long? You guys still look pretty fresh.
About an hour's walk that way.
Okay, we'll make it. We'll lift you up the stuff, and they start trudging on. Okay. And as you continue along the Eastway, the weather is pretty good today. The wind that comes down is cold and biting, and it blows some of the snow that's around, but there doesn't seem to be any new snow dropping right now. And this is a pretty nice day for this far north, the Dales. And you keep going, you stop. Are you actually going to stop and like build a fire and all at midday, or are you going to keep trying to trudge through?
I mean, we may as well try and keep going unless we have a reason to stop.
No, it's an 8-hour travel, right? So if that's all,
Yes.
then we're not in risk of, like, a forced march or anything. I say we carry on. This mountain won't climb itself.
Agreed.
Okay. Yes, I can master Roll20 controls. Okay, and so the party continues on, and you get to a crossroads, and those of you who are from the area know that the northern route heads up past Lake Dinishare and the lower one goes past Redwaters. And you're continuing on straight to East Haven. And I need to find the East Haven sheet. All right. East Haven, which is on the shore of the lake and is it's a damp, cold, and biting. And I am moving the players to the Mood East Haven. Here it is. Except I forgot to grab the player tag. Here's the player tag. Yes, Karis knows how to use Roll20. All right. So you're coming up from the land side, but oh, the wind here it carries that cold edge to it. And it is really, really bone achingly cold. Although as you walk in, it seems like you're practically stepping into the past. I mean, this looks like a boomtown way of life. It looks kind of on the raw side of things that have been built, look almost half finished, and things are clearly new. Other places where things have settled into a sort of predictable pattern, East Haven here is clearly okay. It has been growing quite a lot, and as you come in to where are we? Into the city, you're kind of looking for something that looks like a marketplace, something that would have been, where a traveling merchant might set up. And you aren't necessarily seeing anything obvious. It looks like there's several places there could be. So you guys are sort of looking around. Let's go ahead and move you to the map for East Haven. So you can kind of see areas, where you can try going. You are coming in from the east way, which comes in from the west of this town and is the main drag through town. Black screen, thank you. I remembered to check the mood maps. I did not remember to check these maps to turn dynamic lighting off. Better?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Since you don't have tokens on these maps. Okay, so this is quite the bustling, growing town, and as it is late afternoon, just past dusk, but it's still, daytime as far as business activity goes.
All right. I guess the first thing to do is try and find out somewhere that we're gonna be able to spend the evening, because we're not gonna probably not gonna be leaving here today. So get some accommodation set up, and then we can get to investigating.
Okay. Those of you who have been in the town 10 towns area, say that 10 times fast, would know about, this is a pretty good area for accommodations. There is a couple of inns that you might look at, which is the White Lady Inn over by the docks, or even I've got to use my own mouse next week. I've got to use. Okay, the Wet Trout is a popular tavern. So if you want accommodations for the night, the White Lady Inn is going to be your best bet. Over by the docks. If I can move my mask around, I can shift ping you. There we go.
So the White Lady Inn would be a great place to get accommodations. Looking at Talus is like, I suggest we head that direction, pointing to where we should be going.
I'll follow your lead then.
So, widen through town, I will lead the group towards the White Lady Inn.
And as you come up, you can very much see that things, the bay is quite frozen in. Can you see the ferries from there? Yeah, looking out, as you get up there, looking out, you can see the ferry docks and that there are a couple of ferries at dock, but those ferries aren't going anywhere anytime soon and haven't gone anywhere anytime recently. Yeah, and I've lost the White Lady. Aha! I have found the White Lady. So this is kind of a slightly, you come up to a slightly musty building. It very much, it's one of the best accommodations here in town. It's been around, being on the bay here, it's been around the longest. And it's good and comfortable and well maintained, but it does look a little bit worn. Okay. And so as you come up and into the main room, there is a good stout halfling who is playing an instrument in the common room and providing ambiance, more or less. It's ambiance, all right, but yeah. And you can see off on the side that there are some people gathering around a table with a quite a quite dramatically clothed man who is sort of gathering people around their, getting them to join them and all, and keeps looking over expectantly at the bard to see, he's gonna, he'll be here real soon, right now, just as soon as he finishes this set. And as you so if there's, other than that, there's some servers who are busily providing rations and things, and seeing a group of people come in, a person comes up to you and says, yes, can I help you? And I'm trying to find his name.
Yes, we're looking for a few rooms. How many can bunk per room?
We can pretty easily fit 3 or 4. All of you could fit in one if you want to be a little bit cozy.
2 rooms will be sufficient.
2 rooms would be wasteful. Do you have a problem with all of us staying together?
No, not particularly.
Then 1 room.
I was just thinking that some people might not feel as comfortable. I myself don't really care.
I'm genuinely confused as to looks in your comfort. So, at what point is comfort into consideration?
Tally's just kind of looks at you and just smiles gently before turning back. So how much for 1 room then?
Well, for 1 room for all of you would be 1 gold. If you wanted to split into 2 rooms, I would give it to you for 8 silver each. But each room, I mean, not each person.
That would be a waste of 3 silver, and I placed the single gold down to the counter.
Okay, that's very good. Upstairs over there, let's see. He looks over at a reference thing. 3rd door on the right. Really good. You'll be wanting meals with that, I assume?
Yes, indeed.
Excellent. Dinner anytime here. Most of the local folks that are coming in will come in about an hour or so, but you're welcome anytime. Kitchen's open.
Say, tell us, do you happen to know of any room, like any information about these murders that have been happening around here? Something about an ice spike in people's chest?
Oh, isn't that just the most horrible thing? Absolutely. We had one back, oh gosh, it was almost a month ago now, I think. I think it was almost a month ago now. Yeah, ice spike in his chest. It was that, I think this one I would know.
I believe it was a trapper, was it not?
I think it was the trapper. If you wrote down notes when I was saying it originally, I am sure your notes are correct. Scroll, mouse, scroll. Yes, it was the halfling trapper in Easthaven. Yes,
Hey,
it was the trapper just here. Good, almost a month ago now, 20 days ago. I don't remember how long ago, but it was absolutely dreadful. Right over there, it was up a ways off of the docks, and it was we just practically I heard someone just sort of practically tripped over him in the morning when they were out and about. It had happened overnight, and here was his body just frozen with gory frozen blood all over him. It was just dreadful, absolutely dreadful. But there's only been the one.
you happen to know the halfling's name that was killed?
I don't happen to know him, no. There's been so many new people around, I have not kept track. I bet. Yeah, and
So-
she turns to say, as you start talking, she turns back to you.
So, you don't know if the halfling that was murdered here, if they were a local or not? It seems to me that the person was not local.
No, I think he was a local. He was relatively new to town, I think. I think he'd only been here, I don't know, 6 months or so. I don't know. Oh, of course, that's rumor. I don't actually know what I've heard. But yeah, he was definitely a local. Yeah, start feeling back. Lydia, do you remember what the name of that trapper was that got killed back a ways a month or so ago? It's like, I don't know. I think he was based at one of the shops out on the north end of town, though. Yeah, something like that. I'm sure somebody knows. We can find out. Do you need to know?
What about what was his name? Sefik? He
Oh,
was
he
traveling with a
wasn't
merchant
murdered. No.
caravan.
Oh no, he wasn't murdered at all. He was with Targs. Targs, wasn't he? Isn't he her? And she's sort of turning and looking around. Nobody's standing right next to her. I'm sure he's that bodyguard thing that works with that merchant. Yeah, no, he wasn't the one that was killed. It was a halfling. I'm sure it was a halfling.
Where's the merchant?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure that I know. Do I know when they were? Let's see. Their items aren't very good, so I don't buy for them very often. I'm sure they were here though earlier in the week. I am sure I saw them when I was going through buying some additional spices. But I don't happen to know if they're here now. You might look for them though. They had their stall kind of over in the I've got to use my own mouse. There's kind of an open area where the traveling merchants kind of set up over here. Yeah, she sort of describes the area around that area. They kind of settle up around there. That's where they were. I don't know if they're there now.
Okay. Well, at least it gives us somewhere to go and have a look, because you did say that the murder was around the sort of the north end of town as well, right?
Yeah, well, the murder was just right out here, up a ways, kind of out on the docks. But the trapper, we think he was based in a shop that was up along the north end. He was along the north shore. Up by the wet trout, maybe not quite as far as the wet trout, but up on that end of town. I didn't interact with him much. I didn't know him personally, but
Okay. Well, turning to the rest of the party, well, it looks like we have at least somewhere to go. We can try and ask around about this Sefik character and this traveling merchant. After all, if somebody's walking around stabbing people with spikes made of ice, it would be helpful if they were. And we know that Sefik is, doesn't seem to feel the cold. Those two things
I've
tend to
noticed
work
that
pretty
he's
well
never wearing a
together.
coat. That's true. He is never wearing a coat. I have noticed that about him too. It's very strange. He's an oddity, I'll tell you that. He's always looking kind of gloomy and stuff. He doesn't talk much. Although I'll tell you, Torga she's a bit on the shady side. So I mean, if you're over there looking at her stall, yeah, word to the wise, it's be a little careful of your coin around them. I'll just say it that way. Not that I mean to disparage competitors or anything. I don't deal directly in the kinds of goods she does. So
We should move.
Okay.
We have a heading.
Yeah.
Let us be quick.
Okay.
all right. So as you head through the streets, heading on because you guys are down over here, so you're heading kind of westish and taking along the streets. I should grab a party token to show where you guys are. Since I have a party token, I should use it. Aha! Party. Okay, so as you're walking along, things are kind of muffled with all of the snow sort of piled around. And as you come up along between these two buildings here, I could do with some perception rolls. Let's see how well you guys are paying attention to your environs today.
Nope. As we're walking down, so Pip, what brings you to the north? I haven't seen
Wow.
very many satyrs around here.
He's just so just looking around. Well, I've never been up here before, and I wanted a change of scenery. I didn't think it would be so bland, though. Everywhere just kind of looks the same.
And I do not have a random town map, so I am just going to create a blank map. While you guys are chatting, I am going to set up a blank map and move you to it. It's untitled at the top. While you're chatting, if you would please put your tokens out on the board. We have a nice street going through here. If I can move this other reference stuff out of the way. We have a nice street going along here. You are passing by an alleyway. Yeah, fuss. And nobody else is paying any attention whatsoever, which is just wonderful. I'm still missing a couple of tokens.
Continuing the conversation with Pip, it's like, well, it's true. On the surface, a lot of it looks the same, but if you do look very closely, you do happen to see notable differences within even the different towns. The architecture, for example, slightly different in this town than over in Bryn Shander. Different use of materials. As a result, the kind of the things that they tend to do. And I just go on this massive tirade about how different cultures can develop just because of different uses of materials, and how the personality of the townsfolk can be somewhat different.
Who else am I missing? Can you guys?
You seem to
I'm
know a lot.
missing Pip. Missing Pip, and Pip is next to Tony. All right. Oops, I did not intend to draw. Okay. And Wise, you are paying attention a little bit, almost, kind of, sort of. And as you are coming up to this alley on the side, you see something sort of shambling out at you. And since you actually see it, can you take your passive 15 instead of that roll? All right. We need some initiative. As this thing comes shambling out and about to take a swing at the halfling in the group. Oh, sorry, I should not have hit start yet. Where?
No, it doesn't matter.
Go.
That's fine. Like, you can start it before everybody joins. It doesn't matter. See? And
Okay.
then it'll just snap
1,
to...
2, 6. I am missing somebody. Who am I missing? Giz, I'm missing your
Mine. Yep, I
character.
didn't have my token selected.
Ah!
Aha, you're not in the habit yet.
Been so long to be a player, he forgot.
I haven't
Alright,
been on this
hang
side of the table in quite a while now.
That's true. Add turn. Okay, you can go ahead and enter it at your roll in. Ooh, and you're going to be up first. So that is quite fitting that you're going to be up first at this as this thing comes shambling out at you. All righty. Giz, what are you going to do about this thing coming shambling out at you?
Well,
Actually,
I might have
striding
detected him,
out would be
but I
better.
can't see him.
Yeah,
You
the
can't
map
see
is
him.
black.
Yeah.
Right. Fixing. Still?
Nope, it's all good.
Nope,
I
good now.
can see the lines.
Okay. And Wise, you're up.
All right, I'm going to take a shot at it, and then I'm going to move.
Okay, before it gets to you, so I'll back it up just a little bit. Okay. And that's a miss. Okay, and you're moving over there as it's going to change direction. Anything else for you?
Nope, that's it for my turn.
Seeing the halfling heading your way, and are you working on alerting the party, or is he just going to have to notice on his own?
I would yell as I was running.
All right. Pip, looking around, you see a big, ugly-looking metal thing coming at you with a really big sword.
Pip is totally unprepared. You know, we kind of go, ah, look, and then just to it, and I'm going to hide behind him, dodging for my action.
Okay. Speaking of Azathoth.
Okay, so me, I am going to pull out my glaive, and I'm just going to walk up, and we are going to attack. First with the front, which I'm assuming that'll miss.
That's a miss.
Oh, well, I have, oh, there it is. And then with the butt.
And that actually solidly hits.
Hey! For 7 bludgeoning. And then
All right.
I take a step back, closer to the rest of the group, holding out my weapon. Stay behind me. I'll stop this fiend. And I'll be done.
All right. And the fiend, having just taken a thwacking from you, is going to move up.
Yes,
He
of
is going to
course.
take
But before you do, I am a polearm master. So if he steps into my range, that means I get to whack him again.
So at this point, you get to whack him again.
17?
That is a miss.
I thought it so. Okay. Now you can carry on.
All right. So as he comes up and he starts swinging that sword at you two-handed, and he swings once at you.
The hit.
That doesn't auto-roll damage.
No, you click attack.
Yeah, I know. And he is going to come around here, and he is going to then swing at this lion thing. And probably miss. Alrighty. Landar.
Alright, seeing that this thing is now aggressively attacking us, he's going to move up real quick with a short sword in hand and start swacking at it. Followed by a bonus action of one strike.
You're sitting there going, "Oh, that hurt!" And your knuckles bash into the metal.
Yep, then that's going to be it for the turn.
All right, Cairo.
Okay, with a great heave, he will swing his great axe into the metal monstrosity.
It was a great and mighty swing, but it came down right alongside as it leaned out of your way.
Alright, that is all.
Tailies.
All right, I'm gonna. Tailies, looking at the helmed horror, feels somewhat inadequate. this massively armored creature against weedy little him. So he's going to head over here, and he's going to use the help action on Azathoth. Try and like get in good. That point between his armor there should land a telling blow, and then I'm going to move back.
Okay. Brings us back around to Andwise.
All right. I'm going to take another shot at him.
That is going to hit. That gets right into a chink in the armor. All right, and so that is going to do some damage.
And then I'm going to move over this way.
Okay.
Pip is going to pull out a lyre, kind of out of his bag real quick, and he pulls it out and he starts strumming it. And he shouts over, "Hey, you got this, Goliath, man. I believe in you." And he is going to give Bardic Inspiration to Azathoth.
Boy, everybody's setting Azathoth up to really take it on. Are you ready?
That's your
Azathoth?
bonus.
That's
What's
it,
your
Pip?
action?
I'm just going to dodge again. I'm staying far away from this thing.
Okay, so that'll bring us to Azathoth. So you have advantage from the pointing out of the weak spot from Tailies, and you have Bardic Inspiration.
I look around at both of these people supporting me in my attacks. My heart is in my head. I will not fail you. And I'm going to attack with advantage. Well,
Bardic inspiration isn't even going to help with that one.
that's okay. I also bonus action. Kaya. I don't have advantage on that one. That should be 16.
You don't have advantage on that.
I will use the bardic for the 16 though, because that's a pretty good chance. Nope. That's
Tick! As you hit into the armor.
Oh, it's so tanky.
Yeah. Alrighty. Okay. Anything else, Azatha?
That's action, bonus action. I'm done.
Okay, not gonna move. All right. Okay. So this thing is going to come up, and it is going to. So it winds around, and it, with one hand, it slashes over to its left, which is at Landar. And with its right, it is going to punch at Azatoth, which would be a straight strength. They don't have an unarmed. Oh. Well, that clearly won't hit. Except it was too focused on Landar, and so as it punched up there, it just, flat missed because it wasn't actually looking at Azatoth. Okay, so does that? I assume that does hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Ouch. Okay, you are still alive. And it is your turn. What are you going to do, Landar?
That hurt a lot, so I need to take disengage action to back away. It's about there. And then that's all I've got for now.
Okay.
Why, hello, Norris. Thank
Cairo.
you for the resub, and welcome back to the family. How you doing?
I'm going to take another mighty swing. Dang it.
No! And it's just leaning down, it wishes over his head as you tried to take his head off.
That's it for me.
All right. Haley's.
All right. Well, let's see how far I
I
can
feel you
move.
there, man. It's been busy for everyone.
If I come like sort of here, and I aim a wall, like this way, can I avoid hitting Azatoth and Kiro, or would it hit them as well? Yeah, it's a 5-foot wall, so it probably would, right?
Yeah. Does the wall give damage on either side of it?
It's just a straight anything within the wall. So I guess it would, which is fine. I'll just move around for this turn. I'll move over here and I'll throw a firebolt at the Helmed Horror.
Okay. And it just goes and it just seems to evaporate into the metal of it. And you don't see that it does any damage.
Okay.
Anything
That'll
else
be
this turn?
Tally's turn.
Okay, back to Andwise.
Well, my last shot hit, so let's try it again.
Ooh! Nice, solid hit. Thunk right into the metal plates. Ooh,
Nice.
very nice.
It's a big hit.
It's looking dented.
And then I'll move up here, allies to hide behind.
All right. Pip.
Pip is going to run up. He's going to pull out a rapier and slash him with it.
Okay. Ooh, very nice. You slash and you do a solid hit in with that. Another 7 of damage.
And that is it.
All right. That's a toss.
All right, we're gonna again try to hit it with the glaive. Nope.
Nope, that tinks into the metal.
Well,
does
after
not do-
that,
it's-
we
it
are
glances
going
off
to,
of it.
We'll use our bonus action for a second wind.
Okay. Which brings it back to this creature that looks consideringly between the distant thing that hit at it and the close thing that hit at it, and it turns and it is going to hit at Pip.
No.
Let's see, it is going to try and do the one sword and one fist thing again that it did. So it is going to use the sword against Pip and the fist against the lion person in front of him. No, that's not Linda. That's Williamson. What's your character's name? Cairo. Thank you. Cairo. Yes.
Cairo.
I looked at it and I knew it was you, but I didn't remember your character's name. All right. So the sword, one-handed, one direction. That is a flat miss. And the fist is also going to be a flat miss. So it seems to be a bit stymied. And we go to Landar.
Well, being at this distance, now I am going to actually throw Frostbite at it.
Con save.
Yeah, I kind
Ooh.
of figured that.
And it saves. Is that a leveled spell or a cantrip? I mean, does it do half damage on fail?
No, it's
Or
cantrip.
pass? Okay. So you get some nice little frost patterns over it, but it does not seem to do any damage.
Yep, and then that's it.
Okay, Cairo.
Okay, let's try another swing of the axe.
All right. Go for it. Another solid. Oh my, that is quite a solid hit. This thing is starting to look ragged. Some of the plates are starting to get loose and jingle as though they could come off soon. Anything else, Cairo?
I think that is it.
Tailies.
All right. Tally's is going to come up. He's going to try and get in a position at the back with it, slashing and punching at people. Hopefully, he can press a palm to his back and whisper a word of lightning, channel it into its armor. I give it a shocking grasp. It being armored would give me advantage on the attack roll.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh! Wow. Okay. So, as you do this, I've forgotten how you described your attack, but as the lightning goes into the armor and it starts crackling and sparking between all of the various plates until the thing falls down into a pile of metal.
Whew, well,
And there's all's quiet on the road.
that was dangerous.
But it is a good sign. It means we are getting close to our quarry.
But even as this thing, and I kind of like kick it.
It is, I don't know. It was truly a formidable foe, though. And what is that? I point to it.
I'll pick it up.
And I would have to scroll a long ways up to remind myself what it is. So, Orbex, I will let you put what it is.
Ah, he has a staff and a set of bracers.
Ooh,
Huh.
very nice.
Any notable markings on them or anything like that?
I'm gonna say no, because she didn't say anything.
Fair
It's like I haven't scrolled far enough up yet to remind myself as to what they were to look them up. To the
It might be
initiatives,
best
that's
if we
I just PM'd you.
take a look at this stuff later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, it doesn't. Again, yeah. Good point. It doesn't matter right now.
Doesn't matter right now, yeah. All right, somebody's going to pocket them or stick them in their bag.
If it's a nicer looking
Aha.
stuff than the stuff that I'm currently the quarter stuff that I currently have, I'll keep hold of that.
Okay, and this time I've captured it. All righty. So, let's see. Tallies, pronounce the vowel for me on that again, please.
Tallies.
Tallies. So, Tallies has the staff. And who's picking up the bracers?
I will. I'll pick
Okay.
them up. And, assuming I can't wear them, I'll just stick them in the pack for now.
Very good.
I'll walk
Alright.
over to Tally's. Huh. I shall see that you aim to be my rival.
Rival?
Just because you got this one, do not think that you will best Azathoth. And I just walk away.
All right, I want to collect my bolts and follow behind him.
And I'm back to the East Haven map.
Hey, do you think this suits of armor would fit Kiro?
Yeah.
It's kind of all in pieces now, though, as it jittered apart.
Well, I mean, it normally would be, right? All we need is a few scraps of leather.
I wish it were.
Well, I assume that the many plates and gears are made for a relatively human-sized suit, correct?
Yeah.
It doesn't look quite human proportioned. It looks like it was created as an artifact.
Well, aren't Leonins, like, huge? Like, I thought they were, like the same size as me. I think he's almost as big as a Goliath.
Yeah, about 8 feet tall.
Yo,
Oh
oof.
wow, I didn't think Leonin were that big.
No, yeah, they're swole. Like, well, it's a lion. Like, think how big a lion is compared to other.
Yeah, it's true.
All right.
He's so strong.
So I don't know if you guys are trying to gather up all those pieces and parts, but heading on, you do end up over at the, where did I put the merchant stuff? It only takes like, 15 minutes or so to get over to the part of town where the merchants were set up. And at this point, it's kind of mid-evening. There are a fair number of lanterns around trying to light it up. There are still a fair number of merchants, but I mean, it's not bustling and having lots of them, and it's clearly set up for the traveling merchants that have their own. You see sleds with that are clearly set up to have tables and things that they can display out of crates, and they come with their own awnings and things like that. You see several of those sort of still around, milling around with various types of goods. None of them are dwarven, however. None of them fit the description, and none of them they are all wearing cold weather gear. None of them are fitting the descriptions that you were given.
Well, should we ask around?
That probably seems like the best idea.
We'll leave that to you. Let us know if you require any enforcers.
Yes, I agree. We will watch from afar while you are the mouthpiece for our comradeship? What should we call ourselves? What? Why look at me so strange? Every tribe needs a name.
Yeah, I don't think we're a tribe.
Do we not work towards the same goal together?
Indeed, in terms of Goliath tradition, many groups like this form and they become small tribes unto themselves.
I think that at this moment we're still kind of a tentative partnership, working towards a common goal.
Well, Galileo, our fellowship will be safe and strong. Go and conduct business on the behest of our fellowship, young satyr. I just kind of push him forward.
Just looks up like unexpected. Wait,
So-
I don't. I don't want. We just got attacked. I don't want to go alone.
Don't worry, I'll come with you.
Aren't you optimistic and bright and shiny and
We are with
sunny
you.
Though
disposition?
I must say that I'm not too much of a people person, but if there's any pertinent information that's given, I may be able to make use of it.
So, what was the person's name? The trader that never wears the cold gear. Do we have that
So the person that you were looking for there. Yeah, let me.
Woo! High five for paying attention.
Gold. I know, isn't that cool? Okay, Sefik was the bodyguard, and the Torga Icewind was the merchant. And collectively, the company was called Torgs.
So I'm gonna make my way up to just one of the first merchants I see, whichever one's closest.
And this one happens to be trying to sell some cloth. You're seeing you walk up in your bright, sunny, disposition, and it's like you look like the sort of person that doesn't want to spend all of your time in furs. Wouldn't you love to have some nice cloth, or at least that you can wear under the furs, where it can be more comfortable next to your skin? You, sir, wouldn't you just love to have this? I have some bright colors here. Bring some cheer into your day.
Actually, that doesn't sound like half bad idea.
And
How
I
much do
have
they
very
cost?
good prices as well.
Ooh,
Can
what
I
are the
interest you in
prices?
a nice length of this one? Look at this. This would, let's see, I have to look at your token. Look at this. This is a beautiful sunny orange. Wouldn't it just look perfect with all of your adornments?
I'm more of a blue sky kind of person. Do you have anything in a nice bright? blue or green?
Sky, bright blue. Well, you'll kind of blend in with the snow and all of that. Are you sure you want such a cold color? I mean, I was thinking to warm up your spirits, but yes, I'm sure I have some down here. Pull some out. It's like this, maybe? And brings out a nice sort of ice blue look, and it's a slightly heavier weight than some of the others. A very good deal here. I can give you a length of it for, say, a silver.
I kind of turn to my Tally. Hey, do you have a silver piece?
And Spartan stepped away.
Oh, he did.
So you could just
Well-
take all of his money then, right? He's not here to protest, right?
Okay, on better business. Do you know where I can find orgs?
Torques?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
run
it's a little
by.
on the shoddy side. Are you sure you want to buy from them? I mean, they were here some 5 days ago, I think, but I think they left several days ago. Are you sure you want to?
Oh, do you know where they left to?
Let's see. Well, I think they said that they were going to head. I think they said they were going to head north along the other side of the lake. So that would be Okay, where's my map? Aha! That would be towards Caradinaville. I think is where they were likely going to head. I mean, that would be kind of the logical next space, although 5 days they might. Yeah, no, they probably haven't left there yet. But if they had left there, you might try further north at Caerconnig.
Okay, thank you. I will be back for some material. And then
And let me see. You know, there's. I have a very fine. Look at this. It's a nice spring pink, bound to cheer up anyone. This one's
Well,
only
and
two
he
silver a
kinda- he
length.
kinda-
I mean, it's a steel. Look how nice and comfortable. Look how smooth this fabric is.
he kind of passes by. You see, I left my coin purse back with my friends, so I'll be right back.
Absolutely. Anytime. I'll be out here probably another hour or so tonight, and I will be here again tomorrow.
So I'm gonna go back to my party, or the rest of the party, and okay, so he's not here. Well, they're not here.
Did you find out where they went?
He said north along the lake to I didn't catch
Caradinaville.
Caradinaville.
Well, actually, you don't know these places, so yeah, you might mangle the name because you're not as familiar with 10 towns.
Did you mean
It's a carrot
Caradinaville?
something. It's north. Yes, that's the place.
Ah. Well, if they're heading towards Caradinaville, then Caerconnig is just further north than that. If that's the path that they're going, we may want to think about just jumping Caradinaville altogether and meeting them and arriving at Caerconnig. So we're ahead of them.
It's a good idea.
Okay, those of you in the area know that the road is not that. Once you get off the Eastway, it's not that well maintained, and so it's a good 9 hours to get from East Haven to Caradinaville. And although Caerconnig is only a couple of hours beyond that.
Well,
So, I
guess
mean, once we get to
probably start
Caradinaville,
off.
we'd need to rest anyway then.
You know, if moving at if getting ahead of our quarry is what's important, then maybe we should quicken our pace. We could cover more ground that way. And although we may tire before we reach our destination, when we can rest once the job is done.
It's a good idea.
Oh wait, do they have maybe we could hire a carriage or someone else to drive us out there, or at least get us out there. I'm sure if we had like maybe a carriaged horse or something. Do they have those here?
It'd probably be better used to have a sled than a horse.
You have not seen any horses so far. Once you got off of from the caravan.
I'm just gonna kind of take out my coin pouch and just thumb through it quietly to myself. I don't think that hiring a sled would be necessary. We're young and strong. We can walk.
Indeed, we may need the money for supplies later. Anyway, I wouldn't want to spend everything that we have now on pursuing this, only to find ourselves wanting later.
Oh, this is
So
true.
walking it is.
So are you going to head back to the White Lady Inn for tonight? Did you book?
Yeah.
Did you book
We
rooms?
should
Yeah, you
probably
booked rooms
set
there.
out as soon as we can.
If we
Sure.
set out tonight, that's I mean, we've already spent like 7 hours traveling through heavy snow. We haven't rested yet.
We can get a
Yeah, we
refund
need-
for the room and travel through the night.
Yeah, but honestly, I need a hot meal and a room to rest. I'm not feeling too well.
And I doubt it is wise to travel through the night in such a desolate place.
Desolate. Desolate? I didn't realize that our fellowship was composed of so many cowards. Thou
What
Val.
did you call me?
A coward!
Oh, Tally, back up. Watch
If you
something's about
seek
to
to
happen.
prove otherwise, then come with me. We will do a forced march through the night, and we will get ahead of our quarry.
You can do so on your own and freeze to death. You might have the stouter heart, but at least then I will have the bigger brain. And he marches off in search of an inn for the night.
Ah,
Well, you guys already booked rooms at the White Lady.
yeah, I paid for your room.
Yeah, you did.
And I will pay my own way.
Tally's will as Cairo walks off. Tally's will head over to Azatoth. I understand your desire to get ahead and succeed in this, but you need to understand that the majority of us aren't as hearty warriors such as yourself. I'm a scholar. I would march out into the cold and freeze to death. I would stand no chance. I cannot do this without rest. You are mighty
He
and
does
strong.
look kind of puny to you, Azatoth.
It's
Oh,
true. I'm like 6 foot tall,
Everyone
but like
looks
I've got
puny to Azatoth.
I've got 8 strength. Like I'm a slim dude.
Mhm.
I just don't have the constitution of the mighty Goliaths. It's a failing, I know, of the of the races such as myself, but I've learned to make use of my own strengths and forge them as I can.
Okay, Lilio. Patience. Yes, okay, fine. We can stay the night, but we leave at the crack of dawn, and we move as fast as our feet will carry.
And the crack of dawn is like 10 a.m.
That I can agree to.
So we're heading back to the inn.
Sounds like.
Yes.
believe so.
En
Is
route to
anyone-
the inn, though, Azatoth is going to break away and find a nice tree to relieve himself. 'Cause my teeth are floating. I'll meet you at the inn. I'll be right there.
You're finding a nice what?
Tree, he said.
That's what I thought he said. You're not going to find many trees in town here. They've all been cut up for lumber. What few trees there were. That's something, there's not a lot of trees out here with the tundra. Okay, so as you head back.
There are 2 right there.
right next to the merchant stall.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but those are nice tended trees that are part. In any case, okay. So the party as a whole is heading back, and I've got too many little windows open. It's heading back to the White Lady Inn. Are you going to engage in any of the festivities? Or you're going to go basically straight to your rooms and for the night.
I'm gonna spend some time trying to study this this stuff. Actually, if we head back the way that we came, if there are any pieces of that armor still around, I'm gonna pick a few of them up and see if I can identify any markings or inscriptions on them. Anything that would give an inkling to it as to the its origin, the kind of magic that would animate it. I mean, I know it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, particularly, I would think those shoulder pieces. It looks like would be.
Yes. So I mean, to be honest, I'll take as much of it as I can get. I probably can't carry it all, so if possible, I would impose upon some of the other party members to maybe just take a piece or two, just to help me out while I lug the rest, just so I can study them and try and figure out maybe the the historical style that it was made in, find out as much about it as I can, really.
Okay.
Spare longsword there as well, if somebody needs it.
Oh, the staff is kind of pretty. Let's see.
Yes, and the staff as well.
I'll grab a piece or two to help out.
So what exactly does the staff look
wrong.
like?
Sorry, wrong thing. You don't know that. I was trying to display the image. You should have a button to display the image.
Cairo kind of snorts and continues marching on. It is dead. That is all we need to know about it. You sure came to an odd place for knowledge, scholar.
There's a lot that you can learn from the dead.
I shall put it into... I can find where that went. Okay, there's the image of the staff is in Discord. Since I goofed on how I was doing it. All right.
Huh, that is an interesting looking staff.
Yeah, if only the stream could see it.
All right. So you're doing studying stuff. Who else is doing anything this evening? Other than tending to equipment?
Landar's just getting a hot meal and just resting because he is fairly hurt. He needs to rest.
Okay. Specialty here is knucklehead trout. You get a nice big slab of the stuff. Tastes a little fishy, but specialty of the house.
Quick question. So, do the crampons, do they like attach over your boot or?
I was going to ask about that, right?
Yeah, and my snowshoes.
Crampons and snowshoes, they attach
you don't
to
wear
your
them
shoe.
at the same time.
No,
yeah,
that's not.
You don't
he's
wear
a
them
satyr.
Yeah, that's not the question.
He doesn't wear
I have
shoes.
fawn legs.
He has hooves.
True.
Dang it.
They'll attach to your horseshoes.
Yeah, do I need to get horseshoed?
I didn't think about that.
Maybe.
I was just thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have gotten horse equivalents.
Okay,
I mean, the snowshoes you can kind of strap on and around. But yeah, and your hooves are gonna go through the snow, like anything. That's gonna be not fun. Okay, that's a good question. Junior, you and I have a research project for the next week to figure that out because I should have thought of that ahead of time.
He lashes them on with rawhide or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dang it! I bought too soon without actually looking at what I was buying.
Well, and your character would have probably thought about that. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's just because I'm buying everything they've got, but when you go to try and put it on, it's like, okay, how's this supposed to work here? Alrighty. Okay, so next morning. Nice, good, hearty breakfast offered here as you guys head out again, and we shall move back to the Dale's map. Icewind Dale's
So
map.
I'm assuming after having spent some time studying this this stuff, I realized that I'm not able to use it.
Yes.
Wait,
Okay.
during the
You would
rest.
note. You would definitely note that that's not the kind of thing that you could use.
Wait, so if we took a rest, did people try to attune to the items to get their purpose?
I mean, that's what I would have tried to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sort of failed. So as soon as I know that I
Staff.
couldn't, I'd probably try and hand it over to Pip, seeing as though he's the other spellcaster in the party.
So then let's assume we do the same for the bracers, so I can get this off my list.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a staff of healing and braces of defense, which.
Yep.
I'm gonna look at the bracers and I kind of hand them out to you, a spellcaster who's probably not wearing armor.
That's true.
Let's do a swap.
Do bards wear armor?
Yeah.
Okay, yep, here you go. Yeah, you
Especially
can
sword
hang on to
bards.
that until we rest again.
All right.
What's the staff called?
Staff of healing.
Staff of Healing, which was accidentally linked. Oh, well, it should have popped up on your screen now from Warbucks, but I also accidentally linked it into chat earlier while I was trying to get the image to display. The image apparently doesn't do that. Okay. So we've done the swap. Oh, you guys are at East Haven. I didn't actually have you at East Haven. There, you're at East Haven. All right, so the next morning, and while it is still dark and still cold, feels a little bit warmer, but it feels a little bit damper because clouds have moved in overnight. As you start heading out, did I actually? Yeah, I actually scaled this thing. Very cool. How well prepared of me. So you head back down the Eastway, and it's a really good, nice road until you get to about here. And let's see, it's gonna be early afternoon. No, actually, it shouldn't be that. Because this is on the road. No, it's gonna be late morning by the time you get to here, and you start turning north. And the way, as you turn north, this road is not nearly as well kept. It is a much harder slog to go. You're still able to walk it pretty well. It is still kind of a road. You see various sled tracks going on as others that have come through. You don't come across anyone here along this way. And it has been kind of a cold slog as you make your way north. Cold wind coming from the east and coming off of from the glaciers far to the east. And then across the lake, and it's just not very pleasant until you get towards Caer Dineval. And what have I got for? And as you approach Caer Dineval, it's kind of a daunting look, and I'm going to move you to the Mood Caer Dineval map. And it looks quite daunting. It's up on a hill as you come up to it with various houses and sheds and buildings and all that have clustered down alongside of the lake toward it. And it isn't necessarily clear, do you go up to the walled, the keep itself? Do you settle down here in the town? Although those of you who know the area would know that the area down closer along the lake is more of the town. You don't have to actually be, the care is sort of a separate building up on the hill. And so with that, I will then move you to the Caer Dineval map. Okay, and this is probably black. Let me fix that. Oh, nope, that one should have been fine. Warbucks is probably on it. Okay, so as you come into this kind of foreboding town, this seems somewhat bleaker than some of the other towns, the two towns that you've met so far. Let's see, Caer Dineval. Okay, the harbor itself is completely frozen over. You know, very much as you saw over at East Haven. You know, it looks like their ferry service could have come here, but that is just not at all appealing. You do see midday. You do see one of the fishing boats being dragged across the ice, returning to town from there. All right, and as you come in, I think Denev's Rest is the Denev's Rest. As you come up, the only known inn is the one down here by the docks. But as you come towards it, it is very clearly abandoned and not open for business. And you don't really see many other people. You don't really see people out on the streets. It seems kind of quiet around here, though some of the buildings have lights in them and are clearly lit up.
I don't see how they could have stayed here at all. They probably pushed on further ahead.
Unless they knew somebody in town that they could have stayed with. But it is likely that they pressed on.
Then so should we.
So at this
into
point,
the night, so
let's see, 9 hours.
we're moving into the
So
night.
it's early. It's early evening. Yeah, it's a couple more hours to Caerconic.
So if they yeah, so if there is anybody about on the street as we're walking by, like if we see anybody at all, I would try and sort of get their attention and ask them if they've seen what's it called, Torog.
You do see a couple of people walking along. It's kind of hard to tell anything about them because they're very muffled up with lots of furs and you know, lots of the cold winter clothing. One's a little short-ish, one's a little tall-ish, and other than that, they're just kind of bulky cloth. You see, kind of with muffled up on their faces and all walking along.
Yeah, I'll excuse me.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Right, we've just got to town. We're trying to find Torog. We heard that he headed this way.
Torog. Oh, hey, that traveling merchant person.
That's the one.
They were here yesterday, I know. I didn't notice if they were here this morning. The traveling merchants kind of tend to set up more towards the northern end of town, up closer to the Care.
I noticed that your inn's shut down. Where would they have stayed?
I've never thought to ask where they stay. Yeah, the inn is shut down. Visitors usually seek lodging at the Care. The speaker frequently opens it up for visitors.
Azotok just starts walking in the direction of the Care. We waste time changing words with this one.
I'll kind of give him a nod. Like, thank you very much. You have a good day. Sorry to bother you.
You too, and waffles back up.
Don't mind him. He's just grumpy. I'm going to quickly make my way forward.
Okay, so you guys are heading through town. I mean, this is a pretty steep area that goes down along the bluff. So if you're going to follow around the long way around town, it takes. I assume you're all following.
Yeah.
I forgot. Aslan?
Azotok.
Yep.
All right. So you get over to the area and you can kind of see where the area has been kind of packed down a little bit, for places where merchants might be. You don't necessarily see anything here right at the moment. And you're continuing up the hill.
Yes.
And here it is. So as you make your way up towards the care, it's pretty steep through this area here where you get the switchbacks. There's a little bit of sound as you come further up and you start hearing more sound, and there's obviously a fairly lively tavern here. And as you get closer, you can see the sign that calls it the uphill climb. Do you stop by there, or do you continue up to the care?
To the care.
Well, Cairo may briefly pop his head in to see if he can see the person we're looking for. But if he doesn't, he then rejoins the party.
Okay. Give me a perception roll.
It's worth
Yeah.
asking a place as busy as that if anybody's seen him.
Do you also pop in there?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
I'll be asking around. I'm not just gonna look, because I don't necessarily know what this guy looks like. So I'm gonna ask around, see if anybody knows of Torg or Sefik, and if they've been here recently.
Okay. So, Cairo, you do notice that over on one end of the bar, there's a few, fairly noisy people drinking quite a bit. And it's pretty easy to tell. Most people, inside, they're not wearing all of their heavy coats and all their layers and stuff. But so they all have a pile of cloth next to their chairs. There is one guy with kind of palish skin who does not have a pile of cloth next to his chair.
Okay, I tap Tally's on the shoulder and point over to the individual I spotted.
I kind of have a look at him. Does he look, mostly human? Like, he doesn't look like a Goliath or, any of the races that might be somewhat immune to the harsh climes of cold weather?
He looks like... Aha! He looks kind of like that. Dressed in kind of a swashbuckling sort of style that, even sleeves rolled up and everything, and doesn't look like he is, everyone else you can kind of tell, they've got their long sleeves and stuff. I mean, you can see as I'm dressed here, you can kind of tell when they're dressed for the cold, and this guy's not. He's dressed kind of like a sailor on a regular sort of day.
Yeah, turning back to Cairo. That is unusual. I think we may have hit the nail on the head here. Maybe we should gather the rest of the party and let them know. I'll go get them if you keep an eye on things.
Cairo nods and leans up against a wall, kind of trying to look innocuous.
All right, Tally's head out.
All right. Head out and slog through the snow to catch up with the party that's striding on briskly towards the care.
I think we may have come across. Oh, were any of the party a dwarf? Any of the people there? Were any of them dwarves? Because you said that
you did not notice any dwarfs. You did not notice any dwarfs.
I think we may have come across something. There seems to be a man who is, well, let's say that he's not exactly dressed for the climate, though he doesn't appear to have any, or be a member of a race that is typically immune to the harsh weathers of the terrain.
Well, then we should go and meet him. Did you say anything to him?
No, we haven't approached him yet. There were only the two of us, and I figured that if he is the murdering type, it would be better if we were together.
I don't see no reason why not to stop in. And I'll start heading to the bar.
Yeah, we at least have to check the individual out to make sure we have the right person.
Indeed.
So, Azathoth, are you also turning around and going back with them, or are you continuing to stride ahead, being a person who used to play a
If
character
they
who
think
just
they
always
found
strode
the
ahead?
individual we're looking for, I would go with them.
So the party turns around back to the uphill climb. All right, so inside the uphill climb. Rank here, Denovo. Aha! All right, so you walk into a nice, warm, and welcoming environment that looks fairly busy. You pretty easily see, I've forgotten his name, Cairo, leaning up against a wall near the doorway, who nods as you come in. The party in question is, it sort of indicates is down kind of at the end of the bar, and there are some other tables and so forth around.
I want to kind of lean over to Tally's. So like, what do we say to him? Like, we can't really just go and be like, you killed these people. Like, I mean,
Why can't we?
Simple. we approach. I would be most grateful if Azathoth and Cairo would be close at hand, just in case things go a bit funny.
Yes, of
But
course.
We'll just ask if he is Sefik, and if he is, then we'll ask to speak to him privately about a matter of the utmost urgency.
We could always ask just about the merchant and about the wares if he may have seen it roll through here.
Scanning around, do we see someone that looks like Sethic's description?
Yes, you see someone of Sefik's description. You don't see the dwarven merchant.
Oh, we're not looking for the merchant, so I'm gonna start
Yeah.
walking over towards Sefik.
Okay.
Are you guys coming?
And he's
Yes.
sitting there, and
Yep.
he's chatting. He's chatting with the folks next to him
You,
as you come up to him.
are you the one they call
Yeah.
Sefik?
I am. What's it to you? Who are you? You're different. You're one of those Goliath folk, aren't you?
I don't think you should concern yourself with me. I think that you should come with us.
You think that you?
I do.
And why do you think that? I'm here with my friends, you know.
Because you have been
And
accused
said
of
friends look a
murder.
little uncomfortable.
And my fellowship has been tasked with bringing you to justice.
and they're
Murder,
singing
you
scratch.
say? Murder.
I'm gonna pull out my
Being
hand
the
crossbow.
Unwarranted killing. Yes, go ahead.
I'm gonna pull out my hand crossbow just in case. I got a strange feeling about this.
Murder, you say? The unwarranted killing of folk, punishable by various and sundry punishments depending on the location, you would say?
Well, it's not so much unwarranted as illegal killing of persons. If you're not a member of the local law enforcement, you and you kill somebody, and it's not in self-defense, then yes, it is murder, whether they deserved it or not.
Ah, that depends, though. One might
Depends
be
on
on
what?
official business even if it's not of the local authorities. What was that?
Unless you are a chieftain, I don't see where it would be the authority of someone to order the death of another. So,
You don't think the Frostmaiden herself is sufficient authority here in the frozen north?
aye, Thaval. The Frostmaiden holds no sway over me. Cavallio is the god of the Goliath, so you can take that rhetoric somewhere else. I think it's strange, though.
You asked.
He doesn't deny it.
And he sort of turns back towards the bar with his mug in hand, although his mug doesn't have, yeah, anyways. And he shouts out, "Barkeep, have you dug up any mead yet?"
So,
And does it look like he's alone, or is there more than one there?
She said he was with 2 people.
Two people.
There are a couple of people here, although when he expansively talked about his friends, they looked a little uncomfortable and leaned away.
So even though he turns his back to
It
us,
doesn't take much.
I'm still talking to him. But you don't deny it. Did you kill those that of which we're inquiring?
You might want some specifics. Lots of people die around here. Of whom are you inquiring?
This guy is
as
so
you
sus.
put it?
Like, this is what.
How about a halfling trapper in East Haven?
Yeah, that was me.
Wait,
And the other 2 people that he'd been sort of sitting next, they've now turned away. This is none of their problem. They're edging away. You've got more room around Suffolk than you had
Tallis
before.
is going to turn to the rest of the people around and say, "This man has just admitted to committing murder. I suggest that anybody that isn't involved should vacate the area."
So, while he is,
And there's a lot of screeching of chairs and clattering of stuff, and that whole area empties out over to the other side of the room. Although there are some people craning their necks, wanting to see what's going on.
while he is getting people out of the way, I'm gonna reach my hand out and put it on his shoulder. You're coming with us.
Am I? And are you one of those authorities of which you speak?
If he keeps trying to talk to me, I'm just going to attack him. Like, I'm past the point of words. He's already admitted he's the person we're looking for. This is the end of the line. I'm not a talker.
It's pretty simple, Suffolk. You can come with us, and if you are innocent of the crimes, then you'll be exonerated. If not, you'll be punished. If you
Alrighty.
decide not to come with us, you're all but admitting your guilt, and well, we'll have no choice but to take you by force.
And so he puts down his mug, pushes his seat back, and suddenly in his hand, although you hardly saw it, is a sword. And we're going to have... Actually, you know what? We're going to stop on the cliffhanger there, and we will start next time with initiative. Because I have no idea how long... And that'll give me time. That'll give me time to get a couple more random encounter maps up for doing combat.
Tune in next time on Rime of the Frostmaiden.
Tune in.
All right. Well, you heard her. That's going to be it for today, everyone. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I appreciate you being here. And if you enjoyed the stream, make sure you hit that follow button. And I will see you tomorrow for Out of the Abyss.